What if this eclipse is scheduled maintenance on the dome?
Oh, well, we're still here then. It would seem that our conspiracy friends were a little off the mark with their predictions about the world ending, and you won't believe the rabbit hole we're about to dive into. Now, yesterday's solar eclipse wasn't just a rare celestial event. It sparked a whirlwind of wild conspiracies and mind-boggling theories that are spreading like wildfire, from secret messages hidden in the path of totality to claims of it being a cover-up for something even more extraordinary. Now, usually I would only show you one video, but given the fact that my entire TikTok For You page is filled with these videos today, I thought we'd look at a few of them together. So let's do it, shall we? While we still can, you know, just in case. Please subscribe.
If you haven't been living under a rock, then you probably heard about the solar eclipse that's happening on April 8th. And not just any solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse. And what does that mean for us? Well, you're going to find out, because I'm about to tell you what they're not actually going to let you know.
Which sounds very exciting, but it does raise a question. How do you know then? I mean, if they don't want any of us to know, you must mean anybody except for you, obviously.
Let's get into it. First of all, what is the total solar eclipse? The total solar eclipse, as we already know, is about the sun and the moon crossing paths at the same time. How is that not a spiritual significance that the light and the dark is actually going to war with each other? And before I start this video, let me tell you, it's just for entertainment purposes only.
So does that mean you don't want us to take anything you say seriously? Because having looked at your channel, I seriously doubt that.
The eclipse that happened in Avatar happens to be the same one that we're about to experience in real life. But it just so happens that they put the truth in this cartoon over 20 years ago.
Now, pardon me for asking a stupid question, but could you explain why it is that a child's cartoon from 20 years ago directly referenced yesterday's total solar eclipse, and it didn't directly reference any of the other 12 solar eclipses we've had in the last 20 years?
It's a reoccurring event that basically happened in a cartoon where the Fire Nation, which was the ones that were the evil guys, they lost their powers. They couldn't firebend anymore, meaning they couldn't control all the other nations and bully people. They didn't have any protection, so they hid underground in their bunkers.
Cool, and I have no way of verifying if that's true or not because I can't be bothered to watch an Avatar cartoon. I only watch important educational cartoons because I'm an adult. You know, things like Family Guy.
Literally, this is the day of judgment. The day of judgment where they know that the spirit is going to become alive on the planet of this realm and is going to be able to fight back against the evil entities. That's why they're getting ready with the National Guard. Make sure that we keep our spirits high and that we have the Holy Spirit within us, because the only way that you're going to survive the prophetic days of darkness is if you keep good spirits high so you do not get attacked by the spiritual warfare that's going to happen upon the solar eclipse.
Very quick recap. So yesterday's solar eclipse was the end of the world, which is odd because we're still here now. But anyway, yesterday's solar eclipse marked the end of the world and is a giant conspiracy theory because of cartoon.
So here are my observations for the 2024 April 8th solar eclipse. I was introduced to a multitude of chemtrails. It was disgusting to see. I mean, it was nice to be there with my wife and everything else, but also just talking to her, I was like, hey, why is the moon out as well?
What? Now, I don't want to jump in with 2 feet and call you wrong yet, even though I could, because you've got the words chemtrails and Nibiru on the screen, but the moon being out with the sun is kind of essential for there to be an eclipse.
Is anybody aware that CERN's testing its Hadron Collider on the day of the total solar eclipse? Does nobody find this sketchy?
Not really, because they're not. I mean, they didn't, because this all happened yesterday.
To search for invisible matter that secretly powers our universe, aka dark matter.
But any of these people bother checking before they publish these videos? Don't answer that, they clearly don't. Now, what he just said all comes from a Facebook post that said CERN were going to open a portal to other dimensions during yesterday's solar eclipse. But the post is wrong about both the timing and the nature of CERN's work. CERN's equipment began operating in March, a month before the eclipse, and the technology is nowhere near strong enough to open a portal or a black hole.
Scientists just recently began preliminary tests by sending billions of protons around the LHC's ring of superconducting magnets to boost their energy and ensure the $4 billion machine was in working condition. And get this right, they're going to continue the experiment until later this year, when it will then be put under a long hibernation for CERN to transform it into the next version, the HighLuminosity LHC. Do keep in mind, the accelerator sits 300 feet fucking underground at the border of France and Switzerland. And does nobody find it ironic that it first went live on September 10th, 2008? While everybody was distracted by the election.
I mean, I'm sure everybody in America was distracted by the election, but what about the rest of the world? Now, Americans, you know I love you, you're my biggest audience, but you do seem to have this habit of thinking that the entire world is your country.
Now do keep in mind, like I stated at the beginning of the video, the last test was on March 8th, okay?
Liar, liar, pants on fire. You did not say that, my good sir. You said this.
Is anybody aware that CERN's testing its Hadron Collider on the day of the total solar eclipse?
Now, if you can't remember that you lied about something less than 30 seconds ago, it doesn't fill me with much confidence for anything else you're going to say in your video.
And on April 8th, the team will send the beams through the tunnel where they will collide. The team will be on the hunt for dark matter, which makes up around 28% of our massive universe, but it has never been seen or proven. And the experiment is scheduled to occur the same day and the same time as the Great North American Solar Eclipse. And for some ungodly reason, people are not going to find this to be sketchy.
Well, I'm not really sure what God's got to do with any of this, and I'm not 100% certain how this is related to the solar eclipse we had yesterday. But if you were showing something on the screen that was a bit more of a citation rather than just black text on a plain white background, then maybe people would be able to look up for themselves and possibly verify what you're saying. But everything I've looked for tells me that CERN did nothing yesterday. Well, nothing that you were saying they did anyway. I'm sure they were doing something.
But I'm not even sure people are even aware of what CERN is to even begin with.
Well, in essence, CERN is all about studying the universe at the fundamental level, through the field of particle physics, which is why a lot of people don't exactly understand what it is CERN does. But I can't wait to hear what you think they do, because I can bet my life it won't be that.
I highly implore everybody to look into the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory in Antarctica, and the specific experiments that they're testing, because CERN does a lot of those experiments, specifically with neutrinos, to search for something called a muon.
Oh no, a scientific organization doing scientific experiments. Well, that must mean that yesterday's eclipse was fake.
And when you place a muon in a strong enough electrical current, you might be able to produce a certain beam.
So they're searching for something which was discovered by Carl D. Anderson and Seth Neddermeyer at Caltech University in 1936 at a place where pretty much all conspiracy theorists think nobody is able to go to anyway. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm convinced. And to be completely honest, I'm shocked that this guy doesn't have a Nobel Prize in physics.
So who knows what'll happen?
Well, you don't, that's for sure.
But I do know that everybody needs to be mindfully aware of their surroundings. Because if you don't, you're simply going to be left behind in the age of this new Earth being formed.
What? I feel like I'm saying what a lot in today's video. Anyway, next please.
I'm just a free thinker that believes that the government is using this eclipse to block all our communication and institute martial law. You're not a free thinker. You're mentally ill. You're experiencing psychosis. And you need to be on medication if you think that there's a such thing as demonic portals related to a scientific phenomenon.
Sorry, not sure how that one got in there.
I'm going to blow your mind with the realest conspiracy theory about this solar eclipse that you have yet to hear, so listen close.
Yeah, this is more like it. Go on then, blow our minds.
What if this eclipse is scheduled maintenance on the dome?
Okay.
If you don't know what the dome is, there are people out there who think that the Earth is covered in a protective dome.
Yes, there are, but the problem is none of them can prove that there's a dome. So what exactly is it that you think is being maintained?
And that's how we get night and day and the moon and the sun and all of that.
Yeah, no, this is just getting weird. Either he isn't a flat earther and he's just aware of the dome theory, or he is a flat earther and he's saying something that I haven't heard any other flat earther say before.
What if this eclipse is scheduled maintenance and it's the last big maintenance for the next couple decades, and that's why this is such a big deal? And that's why they've called in the National Guard to certain states, and they're talking about stock up for a couple weeks, because if they get the maintenance wrong, or if they can't fix whatever's going on up there, we're screwed.
Well, given what you just said, I think you've got much bigger worries than that.
And there's going to be an event that happens. And if they can't fix it, that's what triggers the event. If you don't know about the dome theory, take a look at that as well. But what if they're just one and the same, and this is scheduled maintenance, but it's the last big maintenance for the next few years? Let me know what you think.
Well, I think you're an idiot, but I'm sure that's not the type of feedback you were hoping for.
Okay, so I just want everybody to see this real quick. Obviously, this is the path of the solar eclipse. It's going to be on Monday, the 8th of April.
I'm just gonna say it. Now, this guy is either really, really tired, or he's very, very high. Look at his eyes.
So today's Tuesday. This is happening tonight, okay? Look familiar at all, right? The path there from Arkansas all the way up to Cleveland.
Not really, but I'm sure you're about to tell us why it should be familiar to us.
Kind of strange, right? And it's pretty bad. 5s and 7s, okay? On a scale, if you'd like to see the index real quick. So this is the Torcon index, which basically rates tornadoes and the likelihood. And from a 0 to 10, we're talking 7s, people. Let's take a look. 7s, 5s, yeah.
And were there any? Oh, look, not a single one.
I just think it's really strange. Do you think it's strange? I think it's strange.
Yeah, I think you are strange. And the last time I saw eyes like that, they were on droopy.
So the question is here is,
what have you been smoking, and where can I get some?
how did this mysterious storm just so happen to develop right through the path of the solar eclipse?
It didn't. Or at least it didn't that I can find any information on. But if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below.
And if it destroys everything, what's going to be left, and why wouldn't they want us to be in that path right now?
Now, if it's going to have destroyed everything, wouldn't that by default mean that there was nothing left? And that's about as much stupid as I can cope with for one day. Sorry the video's a bit shorter than usual, but I wanted to upload something today, while the eclipse is still fresh in everyone's minds and while people are still searching for it. What can I say? I'm a view slut and I'm trying to get to 100k. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon. Oh, you're still here then. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something new. If you did, then you'll probably enjoy this video as well. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you all again very soon, or in a few minutes if you do decide to watch this recommended video. Love you, bye.